Move, Swift! Get out the way! Kulprit D here. And it is time for a film review. Of the new Backstreet Boy documentary film, Show 'Em What You Made Of. Normally, I do not do film reviews at all. I am not a film person. I know so much less about film than I do music. But one thing that I do know about, good sir, is is the Backstreet Boys. Oh man, favorite band in the world. Awesome. I don't care what you say. Better than the Beatles, in my opinion. Don't care. For this review, I'm going to have a very special guest help me out with this Backstreet Boys review. That is going to be Dakota McLean. Dakota McLean, Backstreet Boys! Hey, yeah. Well said sentiment. Okay, Backstreet Boys. Everyone should know about the Backstreet Boys. I would hope, unless you're like 3 years old and watching this video, or have some sort of really debilitating form of Alzheimer's and don't know what's going on. The Backstreet Boys are the best-selling boy band of all time. Over 140 million records worldwide. Songs like I Want It That Way, Quit Playing Games With My Heart, The Call, As Long As You Love Me, Everybody, Backstreet's Back. Anyway, the Backstreet Boys, went on a little bit of a hiatus, broke up in 2003 just due to a lot of creative differences in the band, drug and alcohol abuse from a couple of members, and then returned in 2005, put out some albums. I will say, even though as much as I love the Backstreet Boys and ride or die for them, they did have a brief, dark moment. The film starts off with the band out in some Ozark mountain, what I presume is near the home of members Kevin Richardson and Brian Littrell, somewhere near Kentucky. But the members are climbing a mountain, and they're trying to get to this mountain, the top of this mountain. And the documentary goes from that and then kind of splits into 3 different little storylines, 3 different little directions that it goes in. One, it starts off with just each member talking about the beginning of the Backstreet career, and it follows the storyline of the band as a whole. Issues with Louis Pearlman, first forming in Orlando, different issues with different members around the Millennium and Black and Blue era. Kevin leaving, Kevin coming back. It just follows that 20-year storyline of things the band has gone through and how the band got together and how they've held up. Another way it goes into, and another storyline it follows, is the member by member storyline of growing up, kind of. It goes from member to member, as I said, and each member is going back to their hometown, visiting their old childhood homes and teachers and mentors that made an impact on them in school or extracurricular activities when they were younger. So that is the second dynamic of it. And the 3D layer, the top tier on the cake, it follows them as they are preparing for the new album, the decision to even reunite as a full 5, choreographing new moves for the tour, deciding which songs to pick for the new album, and things like that. And all 3 of these things, these storylines, happen simultaneously. Instead of doing one part at a time, it just bounces back and forth and goes to them in the round. There are a lot of heart-wrenching moments, a lot of things that you learn about the Backstreet Boys. For example, Kevin Richardson's dad passing away from a form of stomach cancer when Kevin was about 20 or 21, around my age, which of course hits home for me because of my mom. You also learn about issues that Brian Littrell has had with his vocal cords and how it has affected him. Nick Carter talks about the family dysfunction in his house growing up with gunshots and arguments, and him being 11 and 12 years old and having to make major financial and life decisions. There's one scene where Nick and Brian really get into it, and it is uncomfortable just even watching it. You don't even have to be there. Just watching the argument escalate and the swear words being thrown at each other. And the harsh disses. It's mean. Another really cool thing about the documentary is there is a lot of archive footage that has I don't think ever been shown. That they go and flashback a lot to earlier performances when they were doing like high school circuit tours and sporting events, and when they were first formed back in '93 and early demos. You hear a lot of them a cappella singing when they were very, very young. A lot of songs that they recorded that never made it on an album you kind of hear in the background of the home videos. So it's really cool to see those things, since that is rarely the kind of footage and stuff that we get to see of the guys. And another benefit of this documentary is that it is told from the perspective of the guys and narrated by the guys. There's no third party or second party, I guess, narrator that comes in and talks over it with the clips of the guys in between. It is all them. It's all their experiences, all their goofiness, all their emotions. They're the ones that tell the story, and it only fitting. I hate splitting hairs or anything, but there were a couple of tiny details that could have been better. For example, when they were doing the member by member kind of revisiting your roots thing, I felt like a couple members didn't get as much time as the other ones. I felt like Howie and Nick kind of got shorted on time, and I would have loved to learn more and get to hear more of Howie's story and more of Nick's story. And also, they talked about the financial turmoil and the legal issues that they had with Lou Pearlman and Lou Pearlman's arrest, but never ever did they address the allegations of Lou Pearlman sexually abusing any of the guys, especially Nick Carter. There was a huge belief and a huge rumor, one that was actually confirmed by LFO member Rich Cronin back in 2008 on the Howard Stern show. That I don't know if it's because it's not true. I don't know if it's just because it's a little too touchy. But that would have been something that I would have liked to learn more about. But I did love learning about AJ, didn't you?
I think AJ's the best member in the whole band.
The only other issues I have with this film are going to be things that are editing related. I'm not saying that there's dead space in some of the shots, but there seems to be sometimes kind of just a little bit extra B-roll that could have been more concisely edited. Or can we have someone narrate what's going on instead of just seeing them walk around? And the other editing issue I have is at times when they would transition from interviews to photos, and they were showing the photos, they would put big bulky text over the photos as the members were talking in a couple spots, and it made it feel like a lyric video on YouTube or like a PowerPoint slideshow or something. Overall, an awesome documentary, well worth the investment for any Backstreet Boy fan. Take into account a couple of the editing flaws, and a little bit of the drag in a couple scenes on the film, and give it an overall 4.5 out of 5 possible Backstreet Boys. Closing thoughts from you, Mr. McLean.
Nights of light so soon become wild and free. I can feel the sun.
Anyway, that's it, guys. Check out the new Ryan Cabrera review on my channel. Also, the Shawn Mendes review on there. Stay tuned for more fun stuff.